Plant kingdom. Introduction. Our understanding of the plant kingdom has changed over time. Fungi and members of the Monera and Protista having cell walls have now been excluded from plantae. Cyanobacteria, that are also referred to as blue-green algae, are not algae anymore. In plant kingdom, we describe algae, bryophytes, cradophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Classification systems. Artificial. Used only grows superficial morphological characters like habit, color, number and shapes of leaves etc. Based mainly on vegetative characters or on the androecium structure. System given by Linnaeus. Limitations. Separated closely related species as they were based on a few characteristics. It gave equal weightage to vegetative and sexual characters. This is not applicable because vegetative characters are more easily affected by environment. Natural. Based on natural affinities among organisms and consider both external and internal features like ultrastructure, anatomy, embryology, phytochemistry. Such a classification for flowering plants was given by George Bentham and Joseph Dartle Hooker. Phylogenetic. Based on evolutionary relation between the various organisms. This assumes that organisms belonging to the same taxa have a common ancestor. Branches of taxonomy. Numerical taxonomy, carried out using computers based on observable characteristics. Number and codes are assigned to all characters and the data are processed. Each character is given equal importance and at the same time hundreds of characters can be considered. Cytotaxonomy, based on cytological information like chromosome number and structure and behavior. Chemotaxonomy, use chemical constituents of the plant to resolve confusions. These become more important when there is no supporting fossil evidence. Algae. Algae are chlorophyll bearing, simple, thalloid, autotrophic and large aquatic, both freshwater and marine organisms. They occur in variety of other habitats like moist stones, soil and wood. Some occur in association with fungi, lichen and animals, example on sloth bear. Form and size is highly variable, from colonial, volvox to filamentous, Ulothrix and Spirogyra, to massive plant bodies, marine forms like kelps, to unicellular form Chlamydomonas. Algae can reproduce by vegetative fragmentation, asexual and sexual means. Asexual reproduction by formation of different types of spores. Most common is zoospore. Sexual reproduction isogamous. Gametes are similar in size. Flagellated gametes, example Ulothrix. Non-flagellated gametes, example Spirogyra. Anisogamous. Gametes are dissimilar in size, example Eudorina. Oogamous, fusion between one large non-motile female gamete and a smaller male gamete, example Volvox and Fucus. Economic importance. At least a half of the total carbon dioxide fixation on Earth is carried out by algae. Being photosynthetic, they increase the level of dissolved oxygen in their immediate environment. They are primary producers of energy-rich compounds which form the basis of food cycles of all aquatic animals. Many species of Porphyra, Laminaria and Sargassum are among 70 species of marine algae used as food. Hydrocolloids like algin, brown algae and carrageen, red algae are used as commercially. Agar obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria are used to grow microbes and in preparation of ice creams and jellies. Chlorella are rich proteins and used as food supplement even by space travelers. The three main classes of algae. Chlorophyceae, usually grass green due to dominance of chlorophyll A and B, commonly called green algae. Pigments are localized in definite chloroplast. Most members have one or more storage bodies in the chloroplast called pyrenoids, which contain protein and starch, have rigid cell wall made of inner cellulose and outer layer of pectose. Sexual reproduction may be isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous. Example, Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Ulothrix, Spirogyra, Cara, etc. Phaeophyceae, found primarily in marine habitats, commonly called brown algae, possess chlorophyll A, C, carotenoids and xanthophylls. Olive green to various shades of brown depending on amount of xanthophyll pigment fucoxanthin. Food storage as laminarin and mannitode. Cellulosic cell wall covered by algin. Plant body usually have holdfast, type and frond. In most brown algae, pear-shaped biflagellated zoospores have two unequal laterally attached flagella. Sexual reproduction may be isogamous, anisogamous, or oogamous. Gametes pyriform with two laterally attached flagella. Example: ectocarpus, dictyota, laminaria, sargassum, fucus, etc. Rhodophysi. Red algae have predominance of red pigment, phycoerythrin in their body, possess chlorophyll A and D. Majority are marine with greater concentration found in warmer areas. Occur both in well-lighted regions close to water surface or at great depth in ocean where little light penetrates. Cell wall is made up of cellulose, pectin and polysulfide esters. Mostly multicellular with some having complex body organization. Food stored as fluoridine starch, very similar to amylopectin and glycogen in structure. Asexual spores and gametes are non-motile. Sexual reproduction is oogamous and accompanied by complex post-fertilization developments. Example: Polysiphonia, Porifera, Gracilaria, Gelidium, etc. Bryophytes, mosses and liverworts. Bryophytes commonly grow in moist, shaded areas in the hills, called amphibians of plant kingdom, because these plants can live in soil but are dependent on water for sexual reproduction. Rhizoids may be unicellular or multicellular. Main plant body is haploid gametophyte, multicellular of sex organs, antheridium and archegonium. Anthrozoids are biflagellated. Some mosses provide food for herbaceous and mammals, birds and other animals. Species of sphagnum provide peat used as fuel and as packing material for transshipment of living materials as they hold water. Mosses along the lichens are of great ecological importance. They decompose rocks, making substrate suitable for growing on higher plants. They play an important role in the suction on bare rocks or soil. Mosses from dense mats on soil reduce the impact on falling rain and prevent soil erosion. Bryophytes are divided into liverworts, plant body thalloid, thallus dorsiventral appressed to the substrate. Leafy members have tiny leaf-like appendages in two rows on stem-like structures. Asexual reproduction is by fragmentation and gemmae. Gemmae are green multicellular asexual buds formed in gemma cups located in the thalli. Sporophyte is differentiated into food, seed and capsule. After meiosis, spores are produced in the capsule which germinate to produce free-living gametophyte. Example: Marchantia. Mosses. Gametophytes consist of two stages. Protonema leafy stage. Protonema stage develops directly from a spore. Protonema is creeping, green, branched and frequently filamentous stage. Leafy stage develops from a secondary protonema as a lateral bud. They consist of upright, slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves. Attached to the soil through multicellular branched rhizoids, it also bears sex organs. Vegetative reproduction by fragmentation and budding in secondary protonema. Sporophyte in mosses is more elaborate than in liverworts. They have more elaborate mechanisms of spore dispersal. Example: Funaria, Polytrichum and Sphagnum. Pteridophytes, hostile and ferns. Evolutionarily, they are the first terrestrial plant with vascular tissues. Found in cool, damp, shady places, though some flourish in sandy soil. Main plant body is sporophyte, 2N, with true root, stem and leaves. Leaves are small, microphyls as in Selaginella, or large, macrophyls as in ferns. Sporophytes bear sporangia subtended by sporophyll, which may be compact called strobilae or cones, as in Selaginella equisetum. Sporangia 2N changes to spore mother cell, undergoes meiosis to form spores. Spores germinate to produce inconspicuous, small, multicellular, free-living, mostly photosynthetic thalloid gametophytes called prothallus. Gametophytes need cool, damp, shady places to grow. These specific requirements and need of water for fertilization limit the spread of living pteridophytes and restricted to narrow geographical regions. Male and female sex organs are Antheridia and Archegonia. Majority are homosporous, but genera like Selaginella and Salvini are heterosporous. In heterosporous species, the female gametophytes are retained on the parent sporophyte. Zygote develops into young embryos within female gametophytes. This event is a precursor to seed habit, considered an important step in evolution. Used for medicinal purposes and as soil binders, also grown as ornamentals. Pteridophytes are further classified into four classes. Gymnosperms. Gymnos naked sperma seed, plant in which ovules are not enclosed by ovary wall and remain exposed both before and after fertilization. Seeds that develop post-fertilization are naked. Gymnosperms include medium-sized or tall trees and shrubs. The giant redwood tree sequoia is one of the largest tree species. Roots, generally trap roots, having fungal association as mycorrhiza, pinous or coralloid. Root with nitrogen-fixing cyanobacteria as in cycas. Stem, branched, pinous, cedrus, unbranched as in cycas. Long and dwarf shoot in pinus and ginkgo. Leaf, symbol is in pinus and pinnate compound as cycas. Leaves are well adapted to withstand extreme temperature, humidity and wind. In the conifers, needle-like leaves reduce the surface area. Thick cuticle and sunken stomata help to reduce water loss. Gymnosperms are heterosporous. Sporophylls. Microsporophylls, male cone or strobili. Megasporophylls, female cone or strobili. Male and female sporangia borne on microsporophylls and megasporophylls respectively. Sporangia. Microsporangia 2N, pollen grain. Megasporangia or ovule 2N undergoes meiosis of MMC to get 4 megaspores. One develops into female gametophyte or endosperm. Pinus is monoecious, that is male and female cone or strobili are born on same tree. Cycas is dioecious, that is male cone and megasporophylls are born on different trees. Female cone is absent in cycas. Male gametophyte, that is pollen grains are highly reduced and confined to limited number of cells. Female gametophytes bear 2 or more archegonia or female sex organs. The multicellular female gametophytes is retained within megasporangium. Male and female gametophytes do not have an independent free-living existence. Pollen grains are carried by air currents and come in contact with the opening of ovules. Fertilization is by pollen tube formation which carries male gametes. Zygote forms embryo and ovules form naked seeds. Angiosperms. In angiosperms or the flowering plants, pollen grain and ovules develop in specialized structures called flowers. Seeds are enclosed in fruits. Angiosperms are an exceptionally large group of plants occurring in a wide range of habitats. Smallest angiosperm is Wolffia. They are divided into two classes, dicots having seed with two cotyledons, reticulate venation in leaf, and tetra or pentamerous flowers, and monocots having single cotyledon seed, parallel venation leaves and trimerous flowers. Pollination is by wind or various other agencies. Double fertilization is unique to angiosperms. Syngamy produces zygote and triple fusion produces triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Zygote develops in embryo with 1 or 2 cotyledons and primary endosperm nucleus develops into angiosperms 3N, which provides nourishment to the developing embryo. The ovules develop into seeds and the ovaries develop into the fruits. Plant life cycles and alternation of generations. In plant, both haploid and diploid cells can divide by mitosis, which lead to the formation of haploid and diploid plant bodies. The haploid plant body produces gametes by mitosis, so-called gametophytes. After fertilization, zygote also divides by mitosis to produce diploid sporophyte plant body. Haploid spores are produced by the sporophyte by meiosis, which divide to form haploid body again. Thus, there is alternation of generation between the haploid gametophyte and spore producing a sporophyte during sexual reproduction in plants. The different life cycle patterns: haplontic, diplontic, haplodiplontic. Haplontic. Sporophytic generations represented only by single-celled zygote. There are no free-living sporophyte. Meiosis in zygote produces haploid spores, which divide mitotically to form dominant photosynthetic free-living gametophytes. Example: many algae such as Volvox, Spirogyra, and some species of Chlamydomonas. Diplontic. Sporophyte dominant, free-living and photosynthetic. The gametophytic phase is represented by single to few-celled gametophyte. Example: all seed-bearing plants, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms and algae like fucus. Haplodiplontic. Gametophyte dominant, independent photosynthetic which alternates with a totally or partially dependent sporophyte. Example: all bryophytes. Sporophyte dominant, independent photosynthetic vascular which alternates with sporophytic or autotrophic independent but short-lived gametophytes. Example, all pteridophytes. Some algae like Ectocarpus, Polysiphonia, kelps are also haplodiploidic.